How are you feeling about Brexit?
Well, you know, it's a bit uncertain, let's put it like that.
You were quite positive for a while.
I am. I remain of the view that actually can all be really good for the country, but clearly, and not just for the country, I want us to have a good relationship with the EU, with Europe going forward. I think we were always in an awkward position before the referendum. We had to sort out where we were going with our relationship with Europe. Clearly, at the moment, the negotiations, at least from what one can see in the press, is not going exactly according to plan. And I think, but there are things happening, I believe, behind the scenes that aren't aired in public. And sometimes we need to have a little bit of faith.
We do see, yesterday we saw some news out of BMW thinking about moving out, even if they then came back. You can see why they would consider it to begin with, because if there's no deal, they face such huge tariffs on the parts that they'll need to import to the UK to build things, and then on the products that they need to export from the UK. Airbus and many other manufacturers are in the same situation. And I was just checking, auto parts are one of the worst sectors in the stock 600 year to date on the GRR screen. Do you sell things like that in light of the damage that could possibly be done with no-deal Brexit?
Well, clearly, as we started the conversation, there's also issues around trade and tariffs globally. It's not just restricted to what's happening in Brexit. And I do think one of the things that we need to bear in mind is that this is one issue among many that manufacturers are having to deal with and contend with. We obviously have talked a little bit about technology shaking things up. Clearly, car manufacturers that are embracing electric vehicles, that's a whole nother dynamic and how that works out. So I don't think you can look at these issues in isolation.
How? You are less optimistic now than you were. I remember talking to you about a year ago, and you were kind of really quite optimistic about Brexit. What is it that has changed your view? Is it the British side of things and the lack of progress that is being made and the lack of clarity that is providing sort of an absence of a plan? There is no plan, it seems, at this point. Or is it you have a sense that we're being punished? What is it that's sort of...
So let's clarify. I remain of the view that, you know, Britain manufactures and creates great services that are valuable throughout the world. We should be proud of our world-class industries. It's a global market that we operate in, and I'm not pessimistic about our opportunities ahead. Clearly, we need to make sure that we don't become completely fixated by the next few months and have people just make decisions because they feel uncertain. And I think, you know, every day that goes past as well, there are two sides of this equation. You mentioned about disappointments about whether being punished or not, concerns about that. Obviously, we saw the BVI, the German industry equivalent to the Investment Association here in the UK, looking for access to our markets this week and making a big play for that. We need this is a two-way street here. I don't think the European Union is a static situation. We've obviously got the politics in Italy and Germany and Spain, to name but a few. I still believe that, you know, there is a way forward. It's just without being able to see what that is from the politicians, it would be naive to say, yes, it's all fine.